Good evening. Good evening. I hope everyone is doing well today. It is time for our Sunday penny stock watch list. As we always do, while you're getting joined up here, call out some penny stocks. We have some fun action that we're going to talk about in today's video and today's stream. Bitcoin went crazy this weekend, and so I think that opens up a lot of opportunity come Monday morning for some momentum plays with Bitcoin related stocks with sympathy. And I think that's what we're going to look at and talk about in today's show. We're also going to break down a number of different stocks, strategies, all that good stuff. And so while you're here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And yeah, we're going to give everybody about 5 minutes, let them get joined up, call out some stocks you want us to look at for the time being. I'm kind of getting my caffeine here, guys. So I see a few people here. Chase, the GOAT. Hey, love to see it. Love to see it. Larry, what's up, man? David, E-Trade and TD Ameritrade a lot. OTC, yeah, for sure. Yeah, Thinkorswim is what I use, as I could see here. If you're wondering what Thinkorswim looks like, this is TOS. It's one of the most, it's the best charting in the game, to be honest. If you're trading stocks, almost all traders are using Thinkorswim for charts, because Thinkorswim is just the best in the game right now, I think. So check out Bitcoin this weekend. And again, this is what I really think is going to start influencing some penny stocks and all stocks really come Monday morning. I know Mara is ripping up to 36. We have Riot pushing up to 34s. And then we've got a bunch of Bitcoin related penny stocks that we're going to watch as well. Hey, thank you. I don't know. Great channel, man. Smart guy here. Great content. Hey, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So looks like I have some fans in the chat. I appreciate you. I don't know, 705. Thank you, sir. 88. Yeah, listen, Cardano has been a cryptocurrency I've been holding for the last year. Really, in the last few weeks, it's started to put in some nice gains for me overall. Again, specifically Cardano, it's been one of my favorite crypto technologies, and I think it's the future. And so I think, that is a cryptocurrency I've been holding for at least 6 months now, probably longer than that. And it's just in that 6 months, it's put in great gains. Let me see if I can find a chart here to throw up real quick. But beautiful chart. Let me just get out. I think I have BitGet open. We can just take a look at BitGet. But yeah, we have some great technologies in the crypto world, and Cardano is certainly one of them that I think a lot of people need to be paying attention to. Sorry, let me pull up here it is. Okay. Sorry, you see me messing around over here on BitGet, but let's check out Cardano. This is a futures platform that I use. But if we look at Cardano here, where is it? ADA. Here it is right here. Cardano, over the last few years, has really made some amazing gains. I mean, if we look at the 1 week chart, for instance, maybe that's a little bit too far back. Look at the gains it's put in. Let's go ahead and look at a daily chart instead. Look at these gains. Cardano has been a money machine for me. And you can see this is the yearly chart. This is basically the last year of movement, or this is the last day of movement. Or this is a daily chart. I mean, each tick indicates 1 day. So really, like I said, over the last few weeks, really over the last 10 days or so, Cardano has put in some amazing gains so far. Ripped up from 120 all the way over 260. So it's up over 100%. And again, it's one of my favorite cryptocurrencies that I'm holding long term. I'm planning to hold this one for a while. I take profit on the bounces, and then I add on the dips. And it's just been a really profitable coin so far. Anyways, I see some call outs here for some penny stocks they want us to look at. I'm seeing BTBT. Yeah, BTBT is certainly a stock that I'm interested in. BTBT, crypto related stock, and so we really have this on our list already. The reason this one's interesting, guys, if you're into penny stocks and you don't know why you should watch individual stocks, the reason you should watch some of these stocks is because Bitcoin went crazy over the weekend. Again, if we pull up Bitcoin here, Bitcoin ripped up testing 50K. It's only been moving in stronger and stronger waves come the last 12 hours, really. You could see, this is back just in the last few days. Let's see, Bitcoin. It's not going to show me. But yeah, Bitcoin's been moving up really nicely. Let's take a look. Here's Bitcoin right here. So yeah, Bitcoin's been moving up really nicely over the last few weeks. If we look at the daily chart, just over the last few minutes, this thing has been popping off as well some. And so I think Bitcoin related stocks are important. I think we can pay attention to some Bitcoin related stocks, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, hey, listen, y'all can go ahead and chill. Yeah, for sure. Somebody said, well, if we're gonna chill, hey, if you're gonna chill, you might as well chill, bro. Um, I have some stocks that I love that I'm gonna, continue to watch and analyze and hopefully keep going up. I'm holding DraftKings right now if we're talking about larger cap stocks. DraftKings, I'm holding Hood, which has gotten hit the last few days. I'm holding Disney. And then and if we're talking about larger cap stocks, I'm also holding I'm holding one more. NIO. I'm holding NIO, Disney, a few other ones. But then I'm also holding a bunch of cryptocurrencies. Anyways, but yeah, BTBT, certainly an interesting one. I think if we look at what Bitcoin has been doing over the last few weeks, I think Bitcoin related penny stocks are certainly on everybody's list. And I think there's something that a lot of people are going to be watching. Anyways, so the first thing we really want to talk about is Bitcoin's influence on penny stocks. Or let me see, I did this wrong. There we go. Yeah, the first thing we're talking about is Bitcoin's influence on the penny stock world. And Bitcoin is absolutely ripped up, guys. Made huge moves. And it's one that I think a lot of people are paying attention to at this point in time. It used to be one of those stocks that, or Bitcoin used to be one of those things that nobody trusted. But I think everybody has been keeping, a keen eye on Bitcoin. And it's one of the reasons, the crypto world has gotten as huge as it is from Bitcoin. Now, I do think there's going to be some Bitcoin stocks we want to watch. Bitcoin is currently priced at 48,790s, but Bitcoin has actually dropped over the weekend. So since the weekend, Bitcoin is actually down some. Over the last week, though, Bitcoin is putting in some pretty strong movement. And I think what everybody's waiting for is Bitcoin's test to 50K. I think a lot of people are waiting to see if Bitcoin hits and breaks 50K. We're right around that level now. And so I think watching penny stocks related to it makes a lot of sense. If we continue to push up, number one, Bitcoin has started to push up in the last few hours. And so if that continues, we might get some momentum in the penny stock world. But I think a lot of people are pairs trading Bitcoin related stocks. They're waiting for Bitcoin to move in a really obvious way, like over 50,000. And then they're sympathy trading these cheap penny stocks because they have a lot. They can basically buy a lot more of these and, they're a little bit cheaper so they can afford more. And so one of those stocks that we're paying attention to because of that is SOS. Now that's one that we're really watching here. SOS, it's one that I've been watching for a while now. If we look at the daily chart, it's right around a major support level, and I think that makes it worthwhile to pay attention to. You see we're right above that 250 level, and I think 250 historically has been a lot of support. I think if we look here, it's bounced off of this 250 level numerous times, and so I'm watching SOS. Again, if Bitcoin rips up, I think this one is going to move up in sympathy. We also have some other Bitcoin-related stocks like BRQS. We have BITF. Is another Bitcoin related stock that we can pay attention to. We have ANY, which is another Bitcoin stock that we can pay attention to. And we also have CUEN. Now, those are Bitcoin related stocks. Remember, guys, if Bitcoin doesn't end up going up next week, these stocks might not do so well. And if you're going to buy any of these, this is certainly not what I'm recommending. I'm not recommending you buy anything. You always got to do your own due diligence, trade responsibly. But it is one of those things that I'm paying attention to and watching the correlation between those two things. And that will ultimately, help find some type of trade to get involved with in this upcoming week. We also have some other stocks that we're paying attention to that were a little bit more volatile into Friday's after hour session. But before we look at those stocks, I figure we can keep that towards the end of the stream. We're going to go over some strategies towards the end of the stream. But the first stock I wanted to take a look at is CIO. And so with that said, we're going to go ahead and start our top stock movers for this upcoming week. Okay, so CIO announced Friday that it has entered into a definitive agreement to sell all of its holdings in the Sorrento Mesa marketplace submarket of San Diego for $576 million. That's a ton. The company as a whole is getting a bunch of money because of this. And so that's causing a lot of bullish sympathy. Now, this is a real estate investment trust company, and real estate's been really hot lately as well. And it's gapping up some in the after hours session. The first thing you want to understand, though, is that the range of this stock can be incredibly dangerous. CIO is gapping up pretty substantially, but the range can be really dangerous because just so far in after hours, this thing has moved up from $12 all the way up to 21, almost 100% gain, and then back down to the $17 level where it's sitting now. And so there's definitely some risk involved, but it does have a good catalyst that came out in the after hour session from Friday. And so sometimes that momentum kind of transfers over to the following day. And so I think because of that, we're going to watch this one tomorrow, come tomorrow at the opening bell, just to see if this momentum continues. Now, I would like to see a little bit more volume with CIO. These are certainly not recommendations to buy, but I think if we look at the longer term chart, this is a really solid long-term chart. The long-term chart has been incredibly reliable. I think it's one of the most obvious trends I've seen lately. And you can see, the trend is pretty self-evident. There's going to be a lot of traders that are attacking this trend. And so when we get to the bottom of this area here, right around where we are now, you get a lot of buyers that ultimately decide to step in there because they see this trend. They're trying to attack the trend. They're basically anticipating the upward part of this trend here. So they're looking for this to move up like this. And so they can cover right around the highs, and then they wait for it to come back down to the bottom and they buy it up and rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And that's how you basically swing trade and really long-term hold swing trade these type of trend patterns. So because of that, we're watching CIO. Again, I think the long-term chart and the short-term chart looks really interesting, especially considering the fact that, we're now up way above these levels. We are currently sitting up here at $17. So we're way above these previous highs at $14.50. I think that's going to bring a lot of optimism towards CIO. And so, yeah, we're watching it. We'll see what happens. I can't guarantee it's going to do anything. You guys know me. Maybe I'm wrong. This thing might crash down for all I know. And that's certainly a possibility. And so these aren't stock recommendations. And yeah, don't copy me. Anyways, the next one on my list for the hot stock watch list is CASI here. CASI is gapping up in after hours on no news. I couldn't find any news from this. It's a pharmaceutical stock. This is CASI Pharmaceuticals, but you can see it's gapping up here from the 120s all the way up to the 150s in the after hour session from Friday. And so we're watching this as well. We'll see what happens here. Not a ton of movement, not a super exciting stock. There's still not a ton of volume, but we're going to watch it anyway and see what happens. There's a little bit of movement that we can hopefully bet on and make some money with. And so we're going to watch it. We're going to see what happens. And yeah, let me know what you think about this one as well. I did see Palantir. I see somebody from the chat asking about Palantir, about them buying the gold bars, I believe. And yeah, Palantir bought a bunch of gold bars. Yeah, I see that. I don't know. Palantir buying gold bars. And I think that's super interesting. And I'm going to watch the price of gold because of that. I'm going to watch the price of gold because if Palantir is doing it, they're usually doing it for a reason. And I think watching what the companies do and then emulating that is a smart move a lot of the time. Remember, guys, it's super slow right now. We have CARA. Yeah, we can watch CARA. I mean, we're watching this as well. It's another therapeutic stock. I think it makes sense to pay attention to. And so we're going to watch this one as well. It's $13.19 right now. So we'll keep an eye on this one. mRNA. Yeah, we'll take a look at some of those stocks that y'all are calling out right now. We got one more that I want to do, my hot stock watch list. And this is HIHO. This one did have a catalyst, or it did not have a catalyst, but it had crazy numbers. You can see HIHO increased by 20% to 496 during Friday's aftermarket session. And this is all according to Benzinga. At the close, Highway Holdings trading volume reached 1.1 million shares. That is a 1,447% increase of their average 100-day volume. And so huge volume in after hours for HIHO. No catalyst that I could see here. And if you have a catalyst for any of these or know why they're moving, let me know. But yeah, we're watching it. I also think this is a really strong daily chart as well for HIHO. I think if you look at this, it's not perfect. It's not going straight up, but it's putting in higher lows. And when you're looking at strength on a longer term chart, you want it to put in higher lows and hold some of its gains. And that's what it's currently doing. So we're going to watch HIHO because of that. and ultimately we'll see what happens. FLGC, yeah, we're definitely watching FLGC. That was actually on our list as well. But Flora Growth Company has been very strong lately as well. It did pull back some in the last week, but we had a nice Friday recovery here, pumping up to the 1265 level. So yeah, we're certainly watching Flora Growth as well. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Flora Growth, cannabis stock based in Colombia. I know a little bit about this company, and yeah, of course, I'm bullish on cannabis, and we'll see what happens into the future with Flora Growth, but it's certainly what I'm watching. We're definitely watching and analyzing these technical levels here around $10 specifically. I think $10 has been confirmed a bunch of times historically, and so we're going to watch 10, see if it can hold support there and continue moving up, and ultimately time will tell. Oh, I'm spilling tea on myself. All right, guys. So now that we've looked at some stocks, I want to talk about the trade of the week. And for that, we're going to look at some strategies. Okay, so that's the main thing we're going to look at. And then we're going to close it down. Again, another slow Friday. We'll see what happens. I think the market's been pretty dull overall. I think there's just been less market participants lately. Let me know if you've discovered the same thing, guys. Let me know if you figured, if you found out there's just been less people ultimately trading. I know you're good, MC. I appreciate you joining anyway. But yeah, guys, so now that we've looked at that, we're going to look at the top stocks, or we're going to look at the penny stock trade of the week. Okay, guys, so my favorite penny stock trade of the week, there were a few different stocks, and we're going to look at some of these big movers from last week to get a good idea of how I ultimately traded this past week, what strategies I used, and all of that good stuff. Now, if we look back, let me check one thing really quickly, guys, and we'll talk about the strategies that we use. Really, I don't know if you would consider it a penny stock, but we made a bunch of money trading cryptocurrencies last week. Now, there are some stuff that we could watch. PMCB, we made some money on, and PMCB took a crazy drop after they ran it up on the offering news. But one of the things that has been incredibly profitable for me, let me add this here. One of the things that's been incredibly profitable for me is buying pullbacks to these previously confirmed pre-market high levels. Now, one of the major levels on a stock's chart is the pre-market high. The reason it's a major level is because a lot of the time at pre-market high levels, you're going to have these really isolated resistance areas right here. You can see everybody else pays attention to these levels. And so because of that, it's just a really strong level, technically speaking. And the reason it's strong is because everybody pays attention to it because it's such an obvious level here. Now, if we look at PMCB and we look at the first day, which is usually going to be the strongest moves, the first day is usually the more reliable day when it comes to penny stock runs like this. But if we look at this, a ton of traders are buying these pullbacks. They're waiting for it to pull back to a confirmed level. Now, the key with this type of pullback strategy is that you have to look for multiple confirmations. We're looking to attack trends with momentum, and we're looking for pullback strategies. Okay, so when you look for these type of strategies, you want to make sure you get multiple confirmations. All right, so in this specific example, just to zoom in here, we can see we have this really isolated level here that a lot of traders are paying attention to. And then we also, after the opening bell, have all this resistance at that same area, right around $7, which is, again, a whole dollar level. And so when we have multiple confirmations to one specific level like this, and then we get a pullback to that level, which is also around the VWAP, you just have large groups of traders that are buying right here. This is a major buy zone. And you have to think about the psychology behind it. Like if you think about the psychology behind it, it makes a ton of sense, because not only do you have people that are buying the pre-market high, which is a huge level right here. Not only do you have people buying this area here, the pre-market high, you have people buying the pullback to this resistance level. You have people buying the pullback to the whole dollar of $7. You have people buying the pullback to the VWAP here. And all of those different groups of traders are all buying the stock right around the same area. So it all correlates and converges to exactly the same spot. And so what happens when the stock pulls back here? You get a big rip. You get some volume coming in. You get a big rip up. Once it holds the second time here, you get an even larger rip up. And that's how you attack a specific trend. You know, a lot of the time, these penny stocks are going to put in great moves, and you can scalp these really easily if you're selective and disciplined enough to wait for these perfect setups. And these don't happen every day, of course, but when they do happen, I usually tend to go a little bit larger with these because, again, you got so many different groups of traders here. You got the pre-market high traders that are buying that support pullback. They're probably watching this as well. You got the VWAP traders that are attacking the VWAP pullback. You have the whole dollar dip buying traders that are attacking $7 right there. And so you just get a lot of support confirmations. You get a lot of buyers stepping in, and you ultimately can just jump in on the pullback, exit on the bounce, and a lot of the time you got a really easy profit target here as well. The profit target can be the previous high of the day. That's where a ton of traders are taking profit, and it makes sense why, because that's the top of the range. That's the most likely resistance area, and you know, it's all a self-fulfilling thing. Now, we do have a few other examples. We're going to look at what's called the red to green VWAP bounce. Now, I might use some larger cap stocks as an example. Well, let me see. I could probably find some pullbacks here as an example as well. Give me 1 second, team. All right. Yeah. So we could take a look at NAOV, I think, for this one. I think there's a lot of examples with stocks like NAOV of this type of red to green pullback. Yeah, here it is right here. So here's NAOV, and the strategy is very simple. You know, we talk about this strategy probably once a show here. You get a downward move at the opening bell. You look for some red candles underneath the VWAP here. You wait specifically for a VWAP crossover, and then you buy the pullback. You know, red to green VWAP bounce. It breaks over the VWAP. It does a red to green move, so it goes down, up over the VWAP. That's the red to green, red, green. And then you wait for the VWAP to act as a support level. So you wait for it to break over that. You buy this dip here, and you ride the bounce up. Very simple strategy. It's one of my favorite ways to attack penny stocks, and it's been incredibly profitable, to be honest. This strategy has made me more money in the penny stock game than any other strategy in penny stocks. Now, I think I'm still a little bit more profitable scalping mid and large cap stocks like AMD, Apple, Disney. Shorting Disney has been fun lately, but this is certainly the most profitable strategy I've used in the penny stock game. And so let me know if you have any variations of this strategy that you guys use in the market as well. We also have another way to trade these on the short side, which is called the green to red rejection. And you're not going to really be able to do it with a lot of penny stocks. If you do it with penny stocks, you're going to have to locate them first, but it could be a very profitable way to approach this strategy as well. And again, it's very similar. It's a very similar strategy to the last example. It's basically the last strategy flipped upside down. And so what you get here, guys, is you get an upward move at the opening bell. You look for green candles. You wait for the stock to be above the VWAP, and then you wait for 1 to 3 candles to just slam the stock down below the VWAP. You just look for a big slam down like this at the opening bell, and then what you do is you just short into these little pops, cover at the bottom of the range, and this will happen over and over again. It also works in large cap stocks as well. Like I did this a ton with AMD last week and Disney and a bunch of other stocks too. This strategy shows up a lot. And here's a great example of that here. Same exact thing. Again, the patterns are a lot of the time universal. You got to understand the subtle nuanced differences between penny stocks and mid and high caps. But a lot of the strategies are going to work the same, to be completely honest. And I've traded both for a long time now, and they're all very similar, to be honest. But again, you look for an upward move at the opening bell. You wait for a big 1 to 3 red rejection candles, and you short into the pop, cover at the bottom. Works super well. Doesn't matter what genre of stock you're looking at, really, what type of stock. It's just a very universal momentum pattern that if you want to ever short stocks, it's one you should certainly memorize because that pattern is extremely profitable. I would say this pattern right here, attacking it on mid and large cap stocks, is the single most profitable strategy I've ever used in the market. And I'm not even exaggerating. I'm not embellishing here. This strategy has probably made me more money in the mid and high cap market, scalping it on AMD, MU, all that stuff, than any other strategy. But again, it also works on penny stocks as well. Both of these do. And then the last strategy that we want to look at, team, is just going to be attacking a specific trend. And so once a stock confirms a specific trend, if we go off of NAOV as an example here, once a stock confirms a specific trend, you're just buying little pullbacks, attacking that trend here. So you can attack this trend here. if we're going to look at this example, once a stock has confirmed a trend enough, then you could just attack small pullbacks. So here's a confirmation. Here's a confirmation where it actually held and continued over the VWAP. Here's a confirmation. Here's a confirmation. You know, you can attack these little pullbacks once you get that confirmation and trend over and over and over again. It's one of the most profitable ways to trade, and it's one of the most profitable ways that I trade every single day. But again, the big key to this type of strategy, guys, is the VWAP. You got to understand the VWAP. You have to understand where the momentum is flowing in that stock, and then use that knowledge to kind of attack these different pullback strategies. Okay. Yeah, so this is a 1 minute time frame, MC. Most of the time when I'm trading specifically, it's on a 1 minute time frame. Now, not always. There's going to be some times where it's on a 5 minute, sometimes when it's on a 15 minute, but those are usually going to be longer term trades. So if I'm scalping, which is usually what I do when I analyze these trends, it's almost always on a 1 minute chart. I'm not really using longer term because it's short term trades. If I'm holding a stock for 30 seconds, it doesn't really make much sense to use a 5 minute chart. You know, I'm going to take the shortest time frame I can and then attack that momentum because I get the most information from a 1 minute chart, if that makes sense. Yeah, no worries, MC. Yeah, no worries, man. I appreciate the question. It's a slow day, and so you know how it goes. But yeah, that's the strategies I use, guys. I'm probably just going to keep the stream about 30 minutes today. Not a ton of people here, to be honest. And if you want to see more content like this, guys, as always, you can always check out my channel. You know, I run the Beginner Trading YouTube channel where we day trade live on stream every single day without fail, every weekday morning. We start pretty early in the morning and we trade cryptocurrencies. A lot of the time we trade cryptocurrencies. Lately, we've been trading, shorting, going long on crypto futures. It's been a really fun time in the morning at like 4 a.m. Central, 5 a.m. Really about 6 a.m. market time. If you want to join us, we'll be attacking the crypto market there. But we also attack the open live, and I trade the same strategies that we talk about here live at the opening bell every weekday morning. And so if you want to check out my channel, I'll include the link here. It's youtube.com/beginner trading. Again, love what Benzinga's doing over here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button there. But here's the link to beginner trading if you want to check it out. And yeah, I appreciate the support, guys. So what's up with Hood changed their EPS? We can take a look at that, Clyde. Let's see. Let me glance over and see what's going on with Hood real quick. Oh, give me 1 second. Where do you see that? All right, so I'm going to read this article, and this article was from Benzinga. It dropped on Saturday. If you want to see the article, check out Benzinga. Benzinga Pro is incredibly useful for stuff like this because I can figure out what's going on fast. So financial, and this is all quoting here from the Benzinga article titled "Analysts Warn of Third Quarter Slowdown in Robinhood's Doge-Reliant Growth." So financial analysts, and this is all quoting again, quote, "Financial analysts are anticipating a significant third quarter slowdown for Robinhood amid the company's disclosure about crypto's contribution to its second quarter financial earnings. In an investor note, Wolf's research analyst Stephen Kubak has warned to, quote, be aware of Dogecoin given its outsized contribution. And as a result, expectations for a third quarter slowdown could be much more acute than many investors were anticipating. Kubak mentioned Dogecoin's contributions to the company's revenue from 6% in the first quarter to the 26% mark in the second quarter. They're basically saying, let me stop the quote here for a second. They're basically saying that Robinhood grew from Dogecoin's big move up earlier in the year, the Dogecoin and really the AMC's craziness. Now, he said, quote, trading volumes for Dogecoin have dropped roughly 78% in the third quarter and are now tracking below first quarter levels. The company has said seasonal issues and lower trading activity will impact the third quarter results. Okay, so I'm going to end it right here and just explain what's going on. Like, listen, guys, as a streamer myself, I have noticed lower viewership. Benzinga, I'm sure, has noticed lower viewership. Doesn't matter if you're Matt Kors or if you're Joe Schmo off the street starting a stream and you got maybe one person in there. Doesn't matter. The stock market has had noticeably less activity over the last, I would say, month and a half to 2 months. Over the last 2 months, it's been very slow, very boring. And the reason why You know, it is seasonality issues. It is seasonality issues. Listen, we're in the middle of July and August. Everybody's on vacation. They're at the beach. They're not looking at the stock market. You know, everybody's enjoying the summer vacation. And as the fall months get closer and closer together, usually and historically, I guess I should say, you see an increase of trading volume. So as the fall months, specifically October, November, December, January, those 4 months are the most exciting months in the stock market, and the summer months are the slowest. You know, August historically is the slowest month for the stock market. There's less people trading. And so, of course, if like I have a YouTube channel based around the stock market, we're getting less views. Benzinga's probably getting less views. Robinhood is going to have less trading activity because of that. And that's a normal thing. It's a seasonal thing. It happens every year. Listen, I've been trading for 4 years plus, over 4 years. It happens every year. Some summers are outliers where we get like crazy movement, but those are rare. Most of the time when summer hits, July, August, September, it's a little bit more boring in the stock market. You know, with penny stocks, just to bring it back to what the show's about, with penny stocks, usually, you know, during the big exciting months, you're getting big parabolic movers that are getting halted and going crazy, and there's a ton of volume and they're really hyped up. You get big moves like that happening a few times a week a lot of the time during the really exciting months. During the summer months like this, it's very slow. It's very slow. There's not a ton of what we call black swan, or I call it the belle of the ball. You know, my boy Two-Way calls it the hot chicks. There's not very many stocks that everybody's looking at. There's not really hot stocks during the summer. There sometimes are, but on average, it's a lower trading volume. And so Robinhood, that's to be expected. You know, expecting anything different during the third quarter specifically is a little bit misleading. You know, of course, it's not, you got to have reasonable expectations, and Robinhood is not going to have as much people trading it. And I'm sure the same goes for cryptocurrencies. There's not going to be as many people trading these type of things during these summer months. And that's just the reality. Your goal as a trader, before I close it down, we're probably getting ready to close it down, but your goal as a trader during this time is to take it slow, be selective, be disciplined, and protect your account. You know, a lot of traders, I'm a day trader. I day trade a $30,000+ account. No, I day trade probably 20, 30 times a day. My job, and yours as well, if you're a trader, is to be disciplined during this time, because the more favorable months will be here. And if you attack too hard and you take too big of sizing and you take too many trades during this slow part of the year, you'll destroy your account. And so your job as a trader is to condition yourself to be disciplined enough to not destroy your account during these slow months. I'm not saying there's not opportunity. Just protect yourself, guys. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Hey, appreciate everybody joining the show today. It was a little bit slow of a show, but that's all good because the penny stock market's a little bit more dead as well. We did do a fun video this upcoming weekend. We just dropped it yesterday. If you guys want to check it out, we did a video on copy trading on BitGet. And so, you know, we've been having fun in the crypto market where we've been copy trading different traders. We've been kind of investing kind of like a new age hedge fund into these crypto traders on this platform I use. They let you copy trade. But if you want to watch the video where we kind of look into it, have some fun with it, we're doing like a little competition with 2 different copy traders on the platform to see which ones do the best in 2 weeks. And so if you want to check that video out, it's a fun video. Here's the link. And yeah, y'all make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button here on Benzinga. Great content here on Benzinga. So if you're from my channel, hit the subscribe button here. Great content. And we'll see you guys later. Later, Clyde. Have a good day, brother. Yeah, the Christmas holidays are slow as well. So definitely slow during the Christmas holidays. Yes, typical summer. That's usually how it goes, Beach Bum. But yeah, guys, cheers to you. We'll see you guys next time. Good luck. We'll see you guys later. And yeah, have a good day, team.